Hi there, everybody. Welcome. This is Dee Dee Russell with weddingvenueowners.com and the Wedding Venue Owners and Managers community on Facebook. We have an amazing little Zoom today where we get to learn directly from Holly Orr with, and correct me if I say this wrong, the Inn at the Seventh Ray, which is in Los Angeles. So Holly Orr, welcome. We're so excited to have you here. Before we get started, I do want to do a few little shameless plugs. One is to Ventura. I want to thank them for being so supportive of our group and providing lots of goodies for our wedding venue owners working vacation swag bags. Also, Mop It. If you have hardwood floors or floor cleaning issues, Mop It is a great company, mopit.com and ventura.co. So thank you so much to anyone who sends us swag. If you're out there and you run a platinum mine, or you have Mercedes Benzes, or you maybe are a yacht company and you don't know what to do with all your awesome swag, send it here. Our venue owners would really enjoy it. So thanks so much to our sponsors. And now, Holly, we would like to introduce you. If you would tell everyone what your official title is and what you do, and then just go right on into your presentation today.
Yes. So my official title, I guess, is wedding coordinator, although I do a whole lot more than that. So I really run everything from the sales end as well as the operations end. So it is essentially like running my own venue without paying the bills. So I will kind of get a little bit more into that, but it's really funny that you saw me on Vanderpump Rules because you actually saw me giving the tour, which is hilarious. So like I said, I saw a lot of posts in the Facebook group, so I wanted to make sure I had an agenda for what you guys might be interested in. So today what we're going to do is we're going to talk about the difference between a venue manager and a wedding coordinator. There is a big difference. And so I want to, and sometimes the lines are blurred, but we'll talk about the differences between there. I'll talk about, should you have an in-house coordinator or outsource it? And then I'll give you a little bit of background on the Inn of the Seventh Ray and our culture here and kind of what the area is like here, just so you have a frame of reference. And then I'll talk a lot more about my role and my responsibilities at the Inn of the Seventh Ray as a wedding coordinator, and then open up for questions. Sound good?
Sounds great. Let's do it.
So who am I? I've been in the wedding industry for about 9 years. I have my own personal planning company called Paper Heart Events. I've been the wedding coordinator at the Inn of the Seventh Ray for about 4 years now. And I'm a business growth strategist for the wedding industry. So you'll kind of see a lot of those different variables come out throughout this presentation. Okay, so differences. There's a venue manager, sometimes called venue coordinator. There's also wedding coordinators, wedding planners. So lots of times these roles are kind of intertwined, sometimes misunderstood, often by couples as well. So the venue manager or venue coordinator, their primary role is to protect the venue. That is their main number one goal. They want to make sure that the rules are followed. They often will confirm vendor arrival times, the overall layout and setup of the day, so they know how the venue needs to be set up, and essentially ensure that the lights are on, the facilities are in good working condition. Right? That's what I think Dee Dee just mentioned about, climbing up the poles and making sure everything is working. So potentially additional responsibilities could be conducting tours, handling the sales process, collecting payments, sending out payment reminders. Sometimes if you host catering at your venue, it'd be food and beverage sales. Tracking KPIs. KPIs, in case anybody doesn't know them, those are called key performance indicators. So those are for marketing and operational. So how many inquiries are you coming in? How many inquiries from different sources? Where are your referral sources from? And then also like how many are converting? How many are converting into tours? How many of your tours are converting? How many customers are returning or referring you? So those are what those KPIs are. And then often you'll manage advertising listings as well. So the wedding coordinator or wedding planner, their primary role is to make sure that the day runs smoothly, so that the couple does not have to really worry about anything. So they are there to attend to the couple, essentially. So they often are in charge of creating a detailed timeline and their floor plan, understanding their seating chart. They often will direct their rehearsal. They'll meet day of deliveries, whether it be a cake delivery, floral delivery. Also the vendors, making sure they know where to set up. They often will be in charge of setting up and breaking down any personal decor. They'll line up and cue the ceremony processional, direct their guests throughout the wedding day, coordinate with the vendors, the family, the wedding party, and the couple throughout the day. So they're very present in the party and making sure that everything runs super smoothly. One of the most important aspects of this is troubleshooting any issues that arise. I always tell my couples, typically, if you rip your dress, a venue coordinator is not going to sew you into it. I will. So if the flowers don't show up, I'm going to call the florist and make sure that they get there somehow. If the cake arrives completely damaged, even if it's from the baker, I'm there to make sure that that damaged cake doesn't go out and we fix it first. So that is a huge part of a wedding coordinator that does not usually fall on a venue manager or coordinator. And then overall, you're just attending to the couple on the wedding day. By the way, all of those issues actually have happened to me. So, so you have different options. I mean, this can look very different in every single venue. Every venue is very unique. Every area of the country is very unique. And these can kind of blur together. So it just kind of depends on what you want for your structure and what your needs are. So we're going to talk about pros and cons and pay structure for each of these. So you can hire an in-house coordinator. That is essentially, they are an employee of you. You are dictating when they work, generally how they work. So they are an employee of your venue. So the benefits here is that the coordinator is very familiar with your venue, very familiar with the rules, very familiar with how everything works, and you're very familiar with them. There's a lot of consistency for your clients and for your venue. So they know that you're always going to get the consistent level of service. They can often assist in strategy for growing the business because they're right on the ground and they know exactly what's working and what's not working and can advise you with strategy to grow the business. Hopefully they're driving amazing reviews and referrals because they're providing such an outstanding service as well. And they sometimes can help with tours in the sales process. So again, just depending on how you set that up. You could also potentially contract with independent planners. So that is essentially you are working with one planner or one planning company, and they do all of your events, but they are more of an independent contractor. So the benefit there is that your coordinator is familiar with your venue and the rules. So you don't have to guess if they're going to break the rules or if they know where the light switches are or any of those things. You can be confident in the quality of service that's provided. And they may be able to assist with sales and the tours process. The sales process and the tours. So it just kind of depends on how you want to set that up. The other option, this is a big question in the group, is should you require clients to hire a professional licensed planner? So that's a benefit. The idea is that you're not stuck doing the work as the venue manager, but you have somebody on the ground with the couple and the wedding party and making sure everything runs smoothly. You know, somebody professional will be on site. It's not mom or best friend just kind of telling people what to do. And the quality of the coordination does not fall on you because they are contracting with them separately. Cons. So in-house coordinator, it's going to require some training up front to make sure that they are set up for success and the venue is set up for success so that they know exactly how you want things to be run. The customer experience of your events is totally reliant on the success of this role. So if they aren't great, the customers aren't going to have a great experience. So you really want to make sure that they are a great fit for this position so that you can make sure the customers have a great experience. But if something goes awry, the liability does fall on you a little bit more because they are your coordinator. When you contract with an independent planner, you may have several different coordinators working at your venue. So I kind of fall in, just so you know, kind of preview here, I fall into kind of a blend between in-house coordinator and a contract with independent planner. So I'm an independent contractor, which we'll talk about in a minute. But because we do so many weddings, I actually have 2 associate coordinators as well. So you may have several different coordinators working at your venue if you contract with an outside company. You don't have any control over how they do their job or the service they provide. So you can't tell them when they have to work. You can't tell them what meetings they have to have because they are an independent contractor for you. And the liability could fall on you if something goes awry, because often how this will, the structure can be different several ways. And we'll kind of talk a little bit about pay structure. If the couple is contracting with you and you are including the planner, but then you're contracting with the planner, then the liability could fall on you. But if they contract separately with the planner, then it doesn't fall on you. So cons to hiring, to requiring the clients to hire their own planner. There's no specific license or certification that demonstrates that the planner is actually any good. It is unfortunately very, very easy for anybody to throw up a website and call themselves a wedding planner. So there's not, even people with certifications, frankly, doesn't necessarily mean that they're good. So I've heard my fair share of vendors complain about coordinators are not good. Things like coordinators, executing toast when the photographer's in another room, or cutting the cake before the photographer is ready, or mom's in the car, or whatever it is. And so you want to make sure that they are a really good coordinator or planner. You may get some resistance from clients who don't think they need to hire a wedding planner. In my opinion, every single wedding should have a coordinator, regardless of the size. And that is for the client's benefit. And so it's all about how you phrase this, of why it's a benefit for them. And I give scenario after scenario after scenario of things that could happen that they don't want to be worried about, and they don't want their family and friends to have to worry about. And that is the benefit of having a coordinator. So pay structure could be different. Again, this is all about how you want to set it up. Typically, an in-house coordinator is an employee for your venue. You can pay them on a salary. You can pay them salary plus commission. You can pay them an hourly wage. You're dictating when they're working and what their pay is. Contracting with independent planners can work a couple different ways. You could do a commission if they're doing tours. So for every tour that they book, they get a commission, and then plus their planning fee to actually execute the planning and the coordination the day of. You could also have the clients pay them directly, which is huge because it's no out of pocket for you, but you're guaranteeing a great experience for them as well. So that takes the liability off you as well. And you could just do potentially a planning fee per wedding, and you can keep a portion of the fee. So that could be, let's say round numbers, they pay $1,000 for coordination fee, and then you pay the planner $800. So you're essentially taking a referral fee. So it's really up to you on how you want to choose your pay structure. When clients hire their own planner, they hire and pay them directly and contract with them separately. So you don't have any input there. I can't see my chat, Dee Dee. I don't know if there's any questions yet so far. Oops.
Well, I do want to say, I think we're getting the warning that we're going to run out of time in about 8 minutes. So one of the questions that I have, I know that a lot of the venue owners are asking, is that they don't know what to pay a coordinator. They don't know what to pay someone in-house. And I think that when you set this up wrong, and remember, the event is still there, and I'll make a separate post in the group so that you can continue to ask questions and Holly can see them. But having someone come on site and work every weekend and work their butt off for you and really represent you, and then stay over 2 hours because there was vomit or broken pipes or flooding or any issue or poor planning from the couple. Sometimes, our planners and our on-site team go through a lot, and they work hard. It is hard work, and they've been working for months. So it is high stress, and it's not for everybody. But when you have a good team member, kind of the philosophy of how little we can pay them is not the angle to start. It's maybe more looking at all of the incredible value that they give you. So we have about 7 minutes and under, but I'm hoping you can help our venue owners. I can see their thought bubbles is, what would this cost me? And how do I implement that?
Yeah. And so let me share a little bit about how my position is structured, because that may help a little bit, because I think it's a great system and it could be really beneficial for the venue. So just a quick background of the Inn of the Seventh Ray. We've been around for 45 years. We are a fine dining restaurant. We do weddings and events. We're very enchanted garden, whimsical, twinkle lights, chandeliers everywhere. We're in LA County, so it's one of the most expensive places in the country, as just as a background there. We host events anywhere from 10 to 250 people. We have a separate wedding coordinator, that's me, and then a small events coordinator that is like bridal showers, baby showers, engagement parties, whatnot. Average price of a wedding coordinator in the LA area, I think it's important for you to know, ranges anywhere from $500 to $10,000 depending on their services. Just want to put that out there for you for reference. So my structure, I love my structure. I am an independent contractor, but I do fulfill some roles of the venue manager as well as an in-house coordinator, if you will. How my structure works is I do all of the tours and the sales. And for every wedding that I book, I get essentially a commission, but it's really more of the client is paying me a coordinator fee. There is nothing out of pocket for the venue. So the client is paying me directly for a coordinator fee. And I was getting about $1,000. I just raised my prices, but I was getting about $1,000 per wedding. And I'll kind of show you what that all entails, but they would pay me directly. If I ever got flack about like, hey, I don't need a coordinator, it was a required fee. And I always tell them that most venues charge this fee anyways, but we just like to be very transparent in where your money is going. So instead of charging you a $4,000 site fee, we're charging you a $3,000 site fee and a $1,000 coordinator fee. So that is how I demonstrate it. And then I talk about the benefits of having the coordinator and what all we do. And then they're like, oh, okay. So I am commission only. We do catering at our venue as well. So I do get a percentage of the sale, the food and beverage sales on top of that, because that also is involving with sales. But I have a lot of autonomy. I set my own schedule. I set my own tour times. I set my own documents in my own working process. I set my own availability for meetings. So it's a lot of autonomy. All of my responsibilities, I could go on and on and on, but generally I'm in charge of everything from managing all the inquiries, conducting the tours, managing the sales and booking process, tracking all of the statistics of what's working and what's not working. I create customer planning portals. I conduct client meetings. I create their timeline. I create their floor plan, and I create their banquet event order for the catering team. I do confirm all the details with the vendors ahead of time. And then day of, I'm there to make sure that everything is set up how we've talked about it. It runs how we've talked about it. I set up and I break down their personal decor. I coordinate with the vendors, manage the catering team. So I do a lot. The biggest thing I want to point out here is that there's a ton of benefits to this structure, both for me and for the venue. There is a ton of motivation for me to grow the business because my paycheck relies on it. There's no out-of-pocket expense for the venue. It doesn't cost them anything to have me. And there's a really reliable service for the clients and the venue. So if you look at any of our reviews on the Wedding Wire or the Not Yelp, you will see my name posted in there a lot because my service adds to their quality experience, which is huge. And that's the benefit of this position. And then I'm able to provide a lot of strategy for growing the wedding sector of the business and implementing new ideas. So when I started at the venue, they were doing about 60 to 70 weddings a year. This year we'll do 130. So how did I grow? When I started, literally the coordinator was writing notes on a manila file and their timeline was 7 line items. And it was not a timeline. She was very much more of a venue manager. Coming from a planning background, I really wanted to combine the two positions of venue manager and wedding coordinator. So it provides a great experience. So what I did is, we get 10 to 15 emails a day. So the original coordinator was responding to them all manually. Well, then it was a delay to get to the couples. So we got the information out to them much faster now. We established automated workflows. I created some amazing informational packets. So we used to have it, they would use a spreadsheet to calculate an estimate. And now it's, you would get all these emails back and forth. They're like, what if I have 100 people? What if I have 70 people? What if I do a buffet? What if I do plated? What if I do a Saturday? What if I do a Friday? What's the price difference? And it's constant emails back and forth. So this informational packet is actually an estimating worksheet where they can plug and play the things that they want for their event and see where how the pricing changes. There's our link to our availability calendar so they can see which dates are available and which ones are not. And there's a link to schedule a tour and or a phone consultation. So it's all in there one space and it eliminates a lot of the back and the forth. So creating easy ability to set up tours, easy in the booking process, all of those really help grow that business. And then creating a great client experience throughout the planning process. So I developed a client portal so they have all of the information they need at their fingertips at any time, even if it's 2:00 in the morning, they're planning their wedding. They have a schedule and expectations for each of their client meetings, so they know exactly what to expect.
Holly,
Yep.
do you have time for me to do another meeting real quick and put it in the group and then start? Okay, so everybody, we have about 30 seconds left on this one. I'm going to go in Zoom, create a new meeting, and put the link right back in there. And we're going to start right on this tab. That will give us time to do a Q&A, and then Holly won't have to rush through this last portion. So give me about 1 minute. That's how long it takes to create the new event. I'll put it right in the same event tab on the Facebook group so that you'll all get the alert. We'll come back in on mute. Holly's going to start where she was.